Nityananam, everyone. Today, we're going to read about Krishna, Lord Krishna. Nityananam, everyone. Today, we're going to read about. So, it is about Lord Krishna. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam, inviting beloved Swamiji Bhagavan, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidanam, His Divine Holiness Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, into our space. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurti Dandatitam Gagana Sarasham Tattvamasyadi Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Okay, let's start. Introduction. Lord Krishna is the 8th incarnation of Vishnu and the god of peace and love. Many people worship Krishna, including my family. Since I was young, okay, this is the introduction by the author of this book. Let's start with chapter 1, Krishna's birth. 5,000 years ago, before Krishna was born, there was chaos on earth. Kamsa, the king of Jadava's clan, was a wicked ruler who sent waves of terror throughout the kingdom. The Jadava clan consisted of many different smaller clans, and they all obeyed Kamsa's order out of fear. Kamsa would burn down and destroy entire villages whenever he wished. People used to say that he was reincarnated from an evil demon. Mother Earth saw this and decided to go visit Vishnu and ask for help. Vishnu was known as the preserver and restored balance to the universe. Mother Earth took the form of a cow and went to go visit Vishnu. She told Vishnu how Kamsa was destroying Earth and asked him to be born once again and vanquish evil, as he had done before. Vishnu happily agreed, and Mother Earth left. Kamsa had a sister named Devaki. She was unaware of Kamsa's actions, though their father knew what Kamsa was doing. Devaki was not evil as Kamsa was, and in fact, she was kind and generous. She was soon to marry Vasudeva, who was a kind man as well. When the wedding came around, they held a great ceremony that lasted a few hours. Kamsa had attended the celebration and followed the crowds of people that had gathered there. Once the celebration ended, Devaki and Vasudeva started to go home in a chariot. Just before they left, Kamsa ordered the charioteer to step down so he could drive them home himself. The charioteer stepped down and allowed Kamsa to take his place. As they left, the clouds formed a circle and the sky turned dark. God directed a message to Kamsa. It said, Kamsa, beware. Devaki's 8th son will kill you and relieve earth from your burden. The sky cleared and everyone was silent and took in the message sent by God himself. Kamsa feared that this was true, and he tried to prevent that from happening. He wasted no time and quickly ordered his guards to take Vasudeva and Devaki to his dungeon. The guards had no choice but to listen, and they carried out his order. During the years that Vasudeva and Devaki stayed in the dungeon, many things happened. Vasudeva promised to bring each and every child to Kamsa after its birth. When the first child was born, he kept his word and brought the child to Kamsa right away. Kamsa said that since this is only Vasudeva's first child and not the 8th, as well that the baby was a girl, that she could live. His advisors told him to kill all the children. When Kamsa asked why, they gave him a detailed explanation. If he counted backwards, the first became the eighth. If he counted them in a circle, like a lotus flower, each time starting with a different one, all of them could be the child destined to Kamsa. When Kamsa heard this, he killed the 7 children. Devaki and Vasudeva prayed to Vishnu for help. Vishnu heard their calls for help and appeared before them. He said that the 8th child would kill Kamsa and that he had to take birth again. He then reincarnated himself and gave them the baby. They named him Krishna and thanked Vishnu. Vishnu turned to Vasudeva and gave him orders. He said to take Krishna into a town in Gokula. He told him where the town was located and how to get to it. Vishnu continued and said that a newborn girl resided in that village. Yashoda, the mother of the baby girl, was asleep. Go there and switch Krishna and the girl. Then bring the baby girl back here to the dungeon. Vasudeva and Devaki again thanked Vishnu and then he left. Vasudeva's chains magically came undone and he rose to carry out the orders he had been given by Vishnu. Vasudeva put Krishna in a basket and covered him in a blanket. He did not know how a prisoner could get out of prison without permission, but a blue light flashed through the dungeon that left the gates open and guards asleep. Vasudeva walked out of the dungeon with Krishna in his hands and made his way to Gokula. In his way there, he came across a river. Rain was pouring down, and Vasudeva did not know how to get across. He started to walk, but no rain came on him, and the water parted at his feet so that only a trickle of water ran on his feet. The celestial serpent of Vishnu is said to have done this, so Vasudeva could cross. Vasudeva reached the shore and started walking toward the village. He came to a house and entered. He saw the newborn girl next to her mother. Yashoda who was asleep. He switched the babies and returned to the dungeon with the baby girl. Right after Vasudeva returned to the dungeon with the girl, Kamsa entered, awoke the guards, and closed the gates behind him. He walked into the cell, and when he saw the baby, he ran towards it. Kamsa took the baby girl from Devaki and Vasudeva and was getting ready to kill her. Just before he did, the baby transformed into a god and appeared before Kamsa. Kamsa was informed that the 8th child of Devaki, his destined killer, had already been born. Kamsa considered letting Devaki and Vasudeva free and released them soon after. Chapter 2. Krishna's childhood. Krishna's father left him at Gokula with Yashoda, and after a few years, everyone woke up. Nanda, the chief of Yashoda, his wife, were happy that they had a baby boy. News that a baby boy was born to the chief spread like wildfire throughout the entire village. Nanda went to speak with a saint. The saint told Nanda to never let strangers near Krishna, or bad things may happen. Nanda told Yashoda what the saint said, and they took great care of Krishna. As Krishna grew older, Kamsa called upon demons and asked them to kill Krishna. The first one he sent was a demoness who could change form. The demoness was able to find Krishna and convince Yashoda to let her see Krishna. She mixed poison with Krishna's food and fed it to him. Krishna clung onto her hand and she ran into a forest close by. The demoness fell down dead, and the villagers assumed that God had saved Krishna. Kamsa sent many demons after Krishna. Another one of them was a demon called Shakata. There was a ceremony for the parents of Gokula. Yashoda was holding the ceremony and told some boys to watch over Krishna while she went inside to attend the ceremony. As soon as Yashoda went inside, Jagata came and thought it would be easy to drop something heavy on Krishna. Jagata quickly grabbed a boulder and dropped it directly above Krishna. Krishna kicked the boulder toward the demon, and the force called Shakata's death. Yashoda came back outside and saw the demon. She asked the children what had happened, and they told the truth. From then on, Yashoda was more afraid to leave Krishna alone. One sunny day, Yashoda was sitting on her favorite spot. She was wondering what dangers might befall Krishna. Krishna sat down on her lap and opened his mouth for a yawn. Inside, Yashoda saw the entire universe: the sky, the earth, the heavens, stars, planets, and the sun and the moon, water, oceans, and everything that existed. Yashoda was a bit comforted because Krishna carried the entire universe with him, as did Balaram, his brother. They could take care of themselves since they carried the universe in them. Krishna and Balaram soon started to crawl and got themselves into more scrapes than any of the older children. Yashoda soon forgot about her household work and had to follow Krishna and Balaram to make sure they did not get hurt. She found herself running around the house following them. Krishna would always be doing something dangerous or mischievous. Sometimes he played with the kitchen knife or picked hot coals from the fireplace. Other times he stuck his hand into a pot full of butter and ate it because he loved it. Yashoda found it hard to accomplish her work. One day, the milkmaids came together and spoke of Krishna. They went to Yashoda and informed her of Krishna's pranks. They said that sometimes Krishna would come into their houses and he ate their butter and cream. One of them said that they gave Krishna a cup of butter and milk, but he came unseen, broke the pots, and then ate the butter. Yashoda gave them golden pots to replace the mud pots. Then Krishna had broken, and Krishna was happy because he wanted to let them have some of what he had. One day, Krishna found an old lady who sold fruits. He asked for some fruits, and the lady said he could have them for free. Krishna would not take it for free and told her to wait. He ran to his home and called for his mother. Yashoda was not at home. So Krishna went into search of something which he could give to the women as a payment. He found some grains and poured them into his hands. Because his hands were little, by the time he got to the lady, there were only 5 or 6 grains left. The woman accepted them, placed them in her basket, and gave Krishna the berries. The woman started to leave when the basket she was carrying felt heavier. She looked inside and saw that the grains had somehow become gems. Another day, all the village people came together and decided to move to Vrindavan, since there were lots of cows there. Later that day, the word spread and the people started moving. They arrived in Vrindavan by sunset. Since they were used to moving, they started setting up the village again. Krishna and his friends had become bored and wandered off into the forest without telling anyone. Krishna, Balaram, and their friends found a clearing in the forest and agreed upon playing there. They brought the cows with them, and a demon was observing them, looking for Krishna. The demon decided to take the form of a cow so he could blend in with the others. Krishna knew the demon was there and saw the cow right away. He took the demon's leg, and the demon came down upon the tree, and lots of fruits and flowers fell. Balaram and the others asked what happened, and Krishna told them. Krishna woke up one morning. His friends had a picnic with him in the forest clearing. The boys wandered off, and the demon Agashura had laid down on the ground to look like a cave. The boys went in, mistaking the tongue for a newly made path. Agashura kept his mouth open in hope of Krishna entering, and Krishna did. Krishna found his friends unconscious, and he then grew in size, and Agashura, not able to contain Krishna, fell down dead. Soon his friends awoke, and they went back to the riverside to have their picnic. The boys were having their picnic, and the god Brahma saw them and wanted to find out more about Krishna because of Krishna's power. Brahma spirited away the cows into his own world, otherwise known as Brahmaloka. Krishna found that the calves had disappeared and went in search of them while his friends ate. Brahma also spirited away the boys into Brahmaloka. Krishna returned and saw that the boys had also gone missing. He realized that this was Brahma's doing. Krishna waited to see if Brahma would bring back the boys and the cows. When Brahma did not, Krishna, using his power, multiplied himself and then made them look like his friends and the missing cows. Their parents were waiting and asked why they were so late. Krishna told them that a cow had gone missing and that they had to look for the cow. Their parents noticed that their kids were glowing like Krishna. This went on for a year, and since a human year is a minute to Brahma. Brahma finally checked on what Krishna had done and was surprised to see that the boys were both with Krishna and in Brahmaloka. Brahma still watched Krishna in a trance. From behind him, he saw more Brahmas. Even though he thought that it could not be possible, he came to Krishna and asked him to explain what was happening. Krishna told him not to be too greedy of his own powers because he was the ruler of only one universe and there were many more. He said that he had called these other Brahmas to show him how many universes there were. Krishna showed Brahma who he really was, Vishnu, and told the other Brahmas that they could go back to their universes. Brahma spirited the boys and cows back to earth, and they did. They didn't know it had been a year. Each year, towards the end of the summer, the people in the village would offer a great sacrifice to Indra, the god of rain. The sacrifice was to ensure that they got enough rain to let the grass grow, but not too much, and otherwise Yamuna, the river, would overflow and flood their town. Krishna noticed these preparations and questioned his father. He asked what Indra has done that they should be grateful for. Nanda told him that Indra gives them rain. Krishna said that All living beings are born according to their own karma, and Indra cannot do anything to change that. Krishna suggested that they should worship Govardhan Hill, since they live on it. There's plenty of grass to feed the cows, and from the cows they can make food like milk, butter, and cream. Nanda listed and convinced the rest of the village to direct the sacrifice to Govardhan Hill. When Indra did not receive the sacrifice, he looked for the source of the problem. He saw that the people were worshipping Govardhana Hill. He got angry, made it rain. The raindrops were as large as buckets, and that was just the start of the storm. The villagers asked Krishna for help, and so he quickly uprooted the hill and held it aloft with a finger. The villagers rapidly took shelter under the hill with Krishna. Everyone started enjoying themselves underneath the Govardhan Hill. Outside, the rain increased and the river started to overflow. Trees started washing away while thunder crashed and lightning flashed. The wind was so strong that it knocked down trees and bushes. This went on for a week. The people stayed safely beneath Govardhan Hill, and since they did not have to work, they all just had fun. They paid no attention to the harsh weather outside. Indra was determined to make the people came out of their shelter and beg for mercy. Indra thought that not even a giant could hold out this long, certainly not a small child like Krishna. Pretty soon he will get tired and put down the mountain. Or the hill may even come down on the people and crush them. Nothing of that happened. Okay, let's end here for the moment and continue next time. We have read the first 13 pages. We are on page 14. Let's end with the Purna mantra, offering our deepest gratitude to beloved Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidanam, His Divine Holy Sri Nityananda Parameshivam. Thank you so much, Swamiji. We end with the Purna mantra. Let's sit straight with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. The hands to the Anjali Mudra. Nityananda. No, sorry. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nityananda Paramashiva Parakapanamastu Om Nityanandam. Nityanandam, everyone. Thank you for listening and see you next time.